of the level of fame that you get to at that point is free.
It's free.
It's like a free buffet. You don't have to
on a silver platter.
Yeah. I read a thing about
it's free. It's coming free on a silver platter.
It's almost like it.
It'd be irresponsible not to.
It's your duty almost.
It's almost exactly.
I heard a guy talk about Tiger Woods like that. It's like
your duty.
You'd think about Tiger Woods when he was 22 years old, in shape, rich as a motherfucker, on top of the world, just won the Masters like a whole bunch. Like, he probably stepped off a plane. There was probably like 5 women just already, like they probably had like beds rolled out on wheels outside of the plane where he just, that one right there, and he had somebody to push the bed with the naked girl on it already,
right.
Just like, I'm ready for you, whatever.
He probably had someone come before him.
They were probably,
you get what I'm saying? Like
probably
someone that get there like a day before you get to wherever we're going, and screen me 5 good
and
women, scout me out 5
scout
women,
out the local women,
5 good women that I want.
I knew a guy who knew a guy. You know how that goes. But this person was supposedly a security guard in Birmingham, and when Kiss came around, apparently that was the deal with Gene Simmons, was that he had guys that went into the crowd and found however many
someone's daughter.
And gave them a backstage pass, and they had access to Gene Simmons' private room or whatever. Maybe it wasn't. I have no idea how that works.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody going ahead and finding the.
I mean,
I don't.
I played a guitar on the MTV. You know
right?
what I'm saying?
Play the guitar on the MTV.
I played the guitar on the MTV.
That ain't working.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
Well, when Def Leppard,
money for nothing,
chicks for free,
and chicks for free.
When Def Leppard did the
money for nothing, and
which
chicks
tour
for free.
was it?
That is amazing, man.
You know the story behind that song?
Adrenalize?
No. Money for Nothing.
Oh, Money for
Dire
Nothing
Straits.
and Chicks for Free. Dire Straits.
Yeah,
Money for Nothing.
He was in America, and nobody really recognized him. What's his name? Mark Knopfler or something like that?
I know the group Dire Straits. I couldn't tell you individually.
The guitar player really is amazing. I like a lot of their older,
I played a
little bit more obscure stuff. But he was in a place, and he heard some people talking shit about, look at that guy up there. He's just playing guitar on MTV. He ain't really working. And he turned it into a song.
He ain't really working.
Maybe. But he sure is giving up a lot for that money.
Yeah.
It's like we say what we do isn't working either, but it really is.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
He was definitely talented. And, they had some good solos.
When you think about a mega star, that time on stage is probably the greatest thing in the world. Like, it's probably better than sex. But
explain, say more. In that vein, what you mean is greater than sex?
Who's your favorite megastar artist, musical artist? Like, if you could go to any concert right now, living or dead, who would it be?
Bob Marley.
Do you think when Bob Marley was performing in front of 100,000 people in an arena with everybody screaming and singing the songs that he wrote and saying the things he did and vibing on his music, you think sex is better than that? You got 100,000 people vibing on what you've said in the music you made. Look.
I see where you're going.
There's some things
I understood.
Maybe it's not, but it's at least orgasmic. It's got to be at least orgasmic standing up there. It's got to be at least among life's, more exquisite pleasures. And that's one that very few people ever recognize. Like, I'm never going to have 100,000 screaming fans.
No, never.
Singing my songs.
We never say never. We still got.
I don't know about singing my songs, man. You've heard me sing. Yeah, you've heard me sing.
Maybe not singing your song, but they'll be cheering you on.
But. That experience, the experience of having, have you ever been in a room, a small venue, one of your favorite artists, and they're just really in tune and just, there you go, see? That's it.
That was a good-ass guitar
When you feel it.
Yeah.
When you feel it, it's there.
I'm listening to you. I was just giving you some background music.
You're the best, man.
As you was talking.
Happy day before your birthday, brother.
Hey, thank you so much.
I'm going to bring that up first off.
Thank you so much.
Because here's the thing. You got my birthday out of me the other day, and I never
September
really give
7th.
that up. Damn, dude. Don't put me on blast.
September 7th.
Come on, man.
Shane
Don't put me
the
on
Brave.
blast. La, 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 la. You can't hear him. You can't. For whatever reason, I've always been, I wouldn't say self-conscious.
What year you was born? 71? 71.
71.
September 7th,
1971.
Oh,
53 years ago.
Curmudgeon.
And some months. Curmudgeon.
Damn curmudgeon.
That's the first thing that comes to your mouth. Curmudgeon.
A curmudgeon.
Listen, if I can start off, let me shout out Dylan Russell.
Man.
With Sauce Daddy.
Dylan Russell, Sauce Daddy.
Dylan Russell.
Shout out Dylan Russell.
We are, in fact, at this moment, Mr. Dylan Russell. I'm pouring myself another shot.
Of this damn Woodward Reserve.
Woodford Reserve is what we're drinking tonight, courtesy of
Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve, courtesy of Mr. Dylan Russell of
I bet
Sauce
that's a
Daddy
$60
Sauces.
bottle.
Oh, at least.
I bet that's a $60
It's
bottle.
delicious.
I haven't
it's
looked
smooth.
it up, but I would say that's a $60 bottle.
Dylan's probably in the background going, I bet it was more than 60.
You think so?
Yeah, I bet it was. I don't know how much
As
he
smooth
spent.
as it is,
It's very smooth.
It's damn.
It's very
It
smooth.
tastes like $60.
It's
damn
delicious.
whiskey.
I've never had Woodford Reserve before, but it's really delicious.
My first as well.
We're
And
enjoying the
it's smooth.
sample.
I would buy a bottle of it.
I would buy a bottle.
You know,
Not to keep in my house,
to
though. I
put in
got a policy.
my wet bar.
In your wet bar.
Yes, my wet
I
bar.
had to come visit your house and have a drink then, because when I leave.
You know, you always welcome at my place.
Thank you, brother.
Always.
Happy day
You and
before
your
his birthday.
family.
Finna be 40 years old. You know what? I was just thinking about that. Here we are live, and I'm gonna try.
Fixing to be 40
Now,
years.
finna be.
Finna or fixing?
Finna be.
Is it a difference?
That's a good question.
I'm fixing. I'm finna go to the store. I'm fixing to go to the store.
Is there a difference? Finna be, fixing to be. Fixing is a little bit more country, I think.
And fixing sound like you getting something you have to do.
Okay.
Does it?
I got a take on it.
Okay.
I say in the black community, we're more of a finna. In your white community, I think it's more of a fixing.
Could be. That's an interesting question. Now
That's my take on it.
Now I'm trying to think.
We finna.
It sounds like
You don't hear too many black folks say fixing.
We're fixing to go to the store.
We finna.
We're fixing to go have some dinner. Y'all come on.
Come on.
We're fixing to fry up this catfish. Y'all come on. You're right, though. If I was black, I probably would say finna.
We finnas.
When I think about my black friends, they probably say finna.
Finnas.
And my white friends probably say fixing.
Fixins.
there you go.
That's my take.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the first time we've ever recorded a podcast when I was drinking. If you guys are, y'all have very rarely.
Money for nothing. Chicks for free. That's what we can name this
Chicks for
episode.
free. Money for nothing.
Money
and
for
chicks
nothing
for
and
free.
chicks for free.
How are our wives going to feel about that, sir? Your wife is probably going to. Never mind.
That ain't working.
What's your favorite Dire Straits song?
That's the way you do it. Probably that one. We played a guitar on the MTV. That's a good ass song.
You know, there's a version of that. I mean, a verse of that song they didn't play on the radio. It contains a sensitive word.
I just listened to the radio version. I never heard the EP. What does EP stand for?
Extended play.
Oh.
Came right out with that one, right?
I haven't heard of the
extended play.
EP. I heard the radio
Originally,
version.
when records came out, it was a single. The original records were cylinders. The first records were a cylinder.
What you mean cylinder?
I mean exactly a cylinder. I ain't trying to be a smart.
Like a record. I mean like the record. Okay,
No,
I
no,
understand.
no. It was a cylinder.
The black vinyl record.
A cylinder, a tube, like a tube, and you slipped it over a cylinder that was on the record player, and the needle came down, and it turned almost like a wheel, and it read it that way, and then they became a flat disc.
Okay.
But they were only one song.
I never seen the cylinder. I seen the cylinders in them damn autopilot pianos.
I think Thomas Edison.
You know,
Thomas Edison
you know the
invented that
autopilot
cylinder.
piano.
My grandmother had one of those. And she would pull that out of her attic every now and then. And she had probably 10 different cylinders, and it sounded like crap. But an autopilot piano now, that's
the one you see the little things spinning and the keys.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
That works like a music box works.
Right.
Where
yeah.
you got a
almost
tab
like a
that catches
box.
an indentation or not, a protrusion, as it were.
Okay.
But then when records became flat discs, which was much easier to mass produce, that's the reason why they weren't even vinyl at first, but they were discs. They went from cylinders to discs, and they became vinyl as that evolved. But the first ones would only have like one song on each side. And then you had a long play, which would have like maybe 3 songs on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had an EP, extended play,
the EP.
that had maybe like 30 minutes on each side.
Mm.
And that's when you could put out a whole album.
Hence the expression EP.
EP. It's one of those tiny little facts stuck in the back of my mind for whatever reason. There it is. I got that for you. I might do okay at trivia.
I said it once. I said it 1,000 times. This man never ceased to amaze.
We haven't been here it's been 3 weeks since we've been here.
It has been 3 weeks.
Since we've come together all in one accord. You ever heard that church joke?
Uh-huh.
How the wise men, the wise men that met Jesus were firemen? Or no, they were firemen because they came from afar, right? Afar. They came from afar.
Okay. But I got it.
They got there in a Honda because they came together all in one accord.
I ain't never heard that.
I know all those old church jokes.
That's one of them church jokes. What we listened to the other day on the radio, she said, what'd she say? I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian comedian. You remember when the lady was talking who
Johnson.
came on?
Yeah.
I was like,
Johnson.
that's hilarious.
I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian comedian. It's not my style.
Yeah.
Oh, Taylor Tomlinson? Have you ever listened to her?
Never even heard of her.
Dude, she's hilarious, man. You got to listen to Taylor Tomlinson.
She a Christian comedian?
No, but she used to be. Apparently, there's a Christian comedy circuit.
Yeah, it is a Christian comedy circuit.
She talks a little shit about it, too. It's hilarious.
Christian jokes.
She's got her own show now. She's got like a late night show.
Jesus
I've never watched it. But she tells Jesus jokes, but on the she's funny, man. Y'all listen to Taylor Tomlinson.
Taylor
Tomlinson.
Tomlinson.
Yeah. She's very funny, man.
Okay.
Yeah, very funny.
Check her out.
There she is right there, Taylor Tomlinson. She's very funny. She looks like she's got a face like Girl Next Door, and then she tells a masturbation joke or whatever. It's hilarious, man. That's not what she focuses on. I'm just saying,
that could be a Christian joke.
But she puts it into a Christian joke. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. It's very fun. From a person from a failed Christian background, she makes me laugh.
Oh,
Taylor Tomlinson.
That's amazing. But yeah, birthday tomorrow.
Fixing to be 40 years old.
Finna be 40.
Finna be 40.
Oh, you stick to fixing.
Fixing.
How finna you fix
It's cultural appropriation. I can't say finna. I've been given a list of words, which I am no longer allowed to use. Finna is on the list.
Finna be 40.
I may not say
and
it.
life is just starting.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Life just starts at 40. We'll touch on that a little bit later on the episode.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. You have how old is Ezra? 4 weeks? 5 weeks? 6 weeks?
6 today, because he was born on Monday.
That's right.
6 weeks today. 6 weeks to the date. Enzo is going to be 2 years on the 8th. So the day after my birthday.
Day after tomorrow, Enzo is 2.
Yes, Wednesday.
Hey, we need to get Enzo over to the house.
Mm-hmm.
We got a cool little area that we made for Madeline for Christmas that I think it'd be fun for him to come over. Y'all need to come over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get with you.
What they call it when kids play together but don't play together?
A play date?
No, like they both playing together, or they both playing
at the same time.
At the same time,
place,
but not playing
really
together. It's like parallel play or something. It's a name for it.
Parallel play.
I think my wife taught it to me like a week ago. I think it's called parallel play.
I think it's good for them.
That's a lot of P's.
And Madeline is by herself a lot. Parallel play.
Parallel play. Where they're
possibly it's parallel play
amongst each other, but not necessarily with each other.
Preposterous.
It's preposterous. You're preposterous.
No, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, parallel play.
We got this thing for Madeline for Christmas, and it was supposed to be like a thing for her to tumble on, and turned out it sucked. So a week later, we bought the one my wife wanted to buy originally, and turns out it was it was great. And so we've got it all set up. Now we mounted a chalkboard to the wall. Madeline loves that chalkboard, dude. She wears that chalkboard out.
As long as it's on the chalkboard. She know not to write on.
She's learning not to write on the walls, but the thing is, it's just chalk. So
it's magic eraser or whatever.
I mean, just a wet cloth,
wet
really.
cloth might take it off.
Yeah. When we painted our living room, it was before Madeline was born, since we've painted our living room, but we used not a semi-gloss, like a satin. So we didn't use a flat paint, so chalk kind of wipes off of it pretty good.
Okay.
Jessica wanted to paint some of the wall in that chalkboard paint. And I said, well, that's probably going to be hard to paint
That'd
over.
be neat.
But I don't think it would be hard. My son said just paint it with some kills and then just hit it with some kills and paint over it. I don't know. Anyways, we didn't do that. We bought a chalkboard, and my wife expertly mounted it to the wall under my close supervision. But she definitely expertly.
She found a stud. She leveled it. She had to level out tape measure.
She leveled it. She used masking tape to make sure her holes were in the right place. She drilled the holes herself. She put drywall studs in there so it's not going to come off of the wall. She did a wonderful job. It was a beautiful piece of work. I watched the entire thing. Shout out Jessica Knox with her fantastic skills. No, she did a great job with it. I'm not being facetious at all. She did good. And Madeline loves it.
A lady
chalkboard
of
is her thing.
many talents.
Many talents.
Many
Jessica
talents.
Knox. What are you going to know? And she puts up with me, which is
That's a talent.
That's a talent in and of itself.
In and of itself.
That's more of a job than anything.
Right. That's what I say about my wife.
Like it takes a lot of work to put up with my bull. You know?
Right. Like your eyes ain't brown for nothing. They say your eyes brown because you're full of shit.
Full of it.
That's what they tell me. Yeah.
How was Christmas, man? Does that even bear mentioning? Do you even care about Christmas?
I don't care at all about Christmas.
About Christmas.
We didn't decorate this year. I think my wife and kids maybe put up some lights.
You didn't put up a tree?
Year before last. No, we don't put up no damn tree. I mean, me and my wife, we had these conversations, and I think I'm a little bit more advanced in my thought on the whole Christmas holiday than she is. I say advanced, it could be the opposite direction as well.
There you go.
Maybe
okay.
a little ancient, but it's, I was like, okay, you just think about the holiday in and of itself. It's Christmas, right? So Christmas, Christian, Jesus.
Supposedly.
Birth.
Supposedly.
But we put up trees and we worship Santa Claus.
We kind of do.
And it's like, this shit don't even make no sense. It's nonsensical to me. Even when I was a kid, I would ask these questions. Why the hell if this is Jesus' birthday, why we got Santa Claus coming down the chimney and we got a big ass tree in the middle of our living room? You know what I'm saying? Like, just thinking. You
ever looked into the history of some of those traditions?
Like Saint Nick,
Saint Nick, the tree,
the
chimney. How did it become associated with Jesus in the first place?
How did it even become associated
when
with
Jesus most definitely was not born in December?
Most definitely not born in December. It's not. It's just even. Okay, so
I know
Christians celebrate it. Let me finish.
No,
thought.
Please, yeah.
Let's say you claim to be a Christian, which I don't.
Okay.
But, Christians, this is your holiday. This is what we celebrate, but it has nothing to do with Jesus, even in its celebration. So
it's not in the Bible.
It's nowhere near the Bible.
And there's nothing even in the Bible that says that you should celebrate the birth of Jesus.
You had Passover.
It's not there.
That was their holiday in the Bible.
Had nothing to do with the birth of Jesus.
Had nothing to do. That was their Jewish
Passover.
Easter was their Jewish holiday.
Easter was in the Bible.
Sort of. The birth, the death. I think Easter's supposed to represent the birth, the death, and the resignate. How you say that word? Resurrection. Yeah, the Lazarus.
The only thing in the
Jesus
Bible
Christ.
about a celebration is communion.
And then Easter is even funny in and of itself.
There's nothing in the Bible
Easter
that says
bunny and
celebrate
eggs.
Easter.
That shit
Easter
don't
bunny
even
and
make,
eggs. Yeah,
that shit don't even make sense to me, Shay.
I agree.
But when you bring these questions up, when you question, like I think people almost take it as you questioning their faith, which I'm not questioning your faith.
I'm questioning the tradition.
I'm questioning the tradition.
And where did it come from?
That you say is supposed to represent your faith, but it's not even in the Bible. You can't even find it.
And I'm not questioning you practicing this tradition. I'm just trying to learn something. If this is what you want to do, just say, hey, listen, it's not even learning something.
I've been there.
Feel better.
I've been there. Yeah. I used to celebrate Christmas and Easter and put all this stock into these holidays. The only thing I like about the holidays now is the time I get to spend with the family, not the actual holiday itself.
Yeah, I could care less about what meaning people put behind the holiday.
Yeah.
It's certainly
But
not a Christian holiday.
I get to spend time with the
You
family.
say that it is,
but it's certainly not.
It's really not. No.
It's not at all.
You ever
But
looked into the?
It is. It's not, but it is.
You ever looked into
That's
the,
a hard conversation to have,
the
with some
flying
people.
reindeer? It is, and people aren't open-minded enough to
People
take a
ain't
look
open
at,
up
why do we do this?
Why do we do it?
You ever read a story? It's a short story. It's called The Lottery. It's by Shirley Jackson. Called The Lottery. You could read it in 10 minutes. 5 minutes probably.
What's 10 minutes? You'll take me probably 20, 25. Shay. You read
7.5 at the most, brother. 7.5.
Shit.
The Lottery. You know what? The fact is,
I probably read like you type.
You'll read it the first time. Oh, I don't type good at all, bro.
Exactly.
No,
I don't read good. Hey, point proven. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm making jokes.
You got to read the Lottery by Shirley Jackson. But
okay.
Some of it's about just doing something because this is the way we've always done it.
I would say it's because of the corporations want you to do it. It's a way they can get back in the black. That's why they push it so hard.
Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus.
Oh, most definitely.
The Santa Claus that we think of today,
I would agree.
that we see, the jolly old Saint Nick, Coca-Cola.
You always seen him with a Coke in his hand.
100% that came from Coca-Cola.
Especially the older Santa Clauses.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
always had a Coke.
Because it literally came from Coca-Cola. Saint Nick was originally a bit of a mischievous character. And he turned into jolly old Saint Nick by Coca-Cola. I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. That's the song I sing. Whatever it was. Coca-Cola. Yeah. And then Budweiser got involved with the Clydesdales.
Oh, man. I love them damn Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
that was
they
good.
say. But it's 100%. It's not 100% a corporate thing. It was the Catholic Church going on crusades and taking over countries and then turning their holidays, their pagan holidays, into something that supposedly went along with the church so that they could control the local populace. When you look up some of that. But I can go to the fun side, too.
Now we still celebrate.
You know why we got flying reindeer? Psilocybin. I always come back to that, don't I? Isn't it amazing how so many times? So check this out. I don't want to be disrespectful to any indigenous people. I don't want to act like I'm an expert. This is what I've pieced together through what knowledge I've gotten, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, if reindeer eat psilocybin mushrooms, when they process it through their body and then have a wee, as it were,
okay,
it comes out even more potent than it was. And if you happen to be an indigenous person who collects that wee and then ingests it for purposes of a religious experience, you will certainly have one. Apparently reindeer.
So it's the way they can get high.
Tripping balls, as the kids would say. Apparently, that's a thing. Drinking reindeer piss.
Drink some reindeer and piss.
Intentionally been fed psilocybin mushrooms. I could be full of shit, guys. I'm not a PhD or anything. I'm just a dude who pays attention, right? But apparently there's a history of that, and you see a lot of mushrooms on a lot of traditional Christmas decorations and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the whole beginning of the Christmas tree was to hang mushrooms from it upside down and dry them, and that's where the ornaments on the tree became.
Oh.
And you would dry these colorful mushrooms, and then you would feed them to your reindeer, which would ingest them and then pee out like the most potent psilocybin that you could possibly have, and then you drink it, and you think they can fly, and Rudolph, and you get some of these myths. Whether or not that's the way it really happened, I don't know, but there's a pretty distinct connection. And if you start looking at old Christmas decorations, especially early stuff from the 50s and 60s, there's a lot of those red and white mushrooms on there.
Wow.
Just saying. Could be. Who knows? Or maybe I'm full of the east wind.
Hey. It sounded good to me.
I mean, I presented it well, right?
You did.
With a deep enough voice. That's the thing. If you lower your voice an octave, you sound more credible.
We're gonna,
and now, coming to you.
Hey, I'm going to roll with it.
We're going to roll with it.
I just know Christmas don't make no damn sense.
It makes no sense to me either.
It's nonsensical to me.
I think so, too.
The older I get, the more I start to see things, a lot of things become nonsensical.
It's fun to pretend for little kids.
Oh, most definitely.
Like the Smurfs are nonsensical to me, too, but I sure do like watching them with Madeline in my lap.
Correct.
So
Correct.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I never taught my kids that Santa Claus was real. Did your kids ever believe in Santa Claus?
I'm Santa Claus. If it was one, but I'm at that age where I'm not so I'm not so easily to comply with societal norms. Let's word it that way.
Curmudgeon.
I'm a curmudgeon. And I think Christmas is another one of those, like, people expect you to do it, participate with it, spend all your money and be happy.
I'm not buying you or anybody else other than Madeline. I'm not buying anybody a Christmas present.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Don't ever. Look, the day you get a Christmas present for me, they have replaced me with a drone. It ain't happening.
You were damn. You were what's that word we talked about? The player.
An NPC, non-playing character.
You're a non-playing character. If I get a Christmas,
if you get a Christmas present for me, the Matrix is taking over my mind.
They done came and replaced you.
They done got me, man.
They done got you.
I'm not buying you a Christmas.
You're a non-player
Look,
now.
If I like you well enough, I'm going to buy you a present, and I'm going to think it. And it's going to be something weird.
Right.
Like, I think I've given you one thing in my life.
A book.
That'd be the kind of... That would be what I would give. You know
I picked that book up today.
Did you really?
Yep. I didn't read it. I picked it up.
But I'm not buying you a
I didn't
Christmas
open
present.
it, but I did pick it up today.
You know, if I think about you, I'm about. But I don't think that my relationship with you or anybody else is dependent on presents.
Not at all.
Like, I don't... anything I need... I'm at the age where I can buy it myself. Anything I really want, I got simple tastes. If you buy me a gift just because you're supposed to have something wrapped up under a tree and you go, thanks for the T-shirt. I'm stupid. That's really funny. You know, it's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. But did you know I was having a tooth pulled and you called just to, make sure I was okay or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever tiny little thing it may be,
right.
Did you show up when I was having a barbecue or whatever it was? To me, those are the things that you do to solidify your relationship and buying somebody, Here's the problem though. My wife is next level when it comes to buying presents.
Okay.
Like she thinks about it through the year. She will contemplate a present. She will listen to what you say and take notes and write it down. She's probably got an Excel program about what's the probability. And she's bought me some gifts that will... Dude, I have the entire collection of Calvin and Hobbes comics on Sunday morning paper size, hardback bound in its own box. Huge, bigger than that. Mr. Producer's putting his hands out. It's the size of the Sunday paper cartoon with every Calvin and Hobbes cartoon ever published in order that my wife got me for Christmas one time. That's a mic drop to me. Calvin and Hobbes,
wow.
The cartoon, please. To me, there's never been a better cartoon than Calvin and Hobbes ever drawn. And I come from the era where you got the Sunday paper to read the Sunday comics. Like I looked forward to seeing Calvin and Hobbes. And when the last one came in the paper, I mean, I didn't cry. Probably. I mean, it was humid. The wind was blowing that morning hard. You know what I'm saying? It was cold. But Calvin and Hobbes was an important part of my life, and my wife to recognize that and to buy me that and to know how much I'm into books and what have you,
How many years y'all married before she bought you that?
I don't know. I've had it for a while.
You had it for a while?
Had it for a while. It wasn't long.
Wow.
It's a 3-volume. It's a 3-volume set, sir. It's very nice on very nice paper. Yeah, it's one of those things. I could name 10 more.
One of those very thoughtful gifts.
The point being, my wife is a very thoughtful gift giver.
A thoughtful gift.
2 days before Christmas, I'm down at Ross, like buying you a pair of gloves that are a size too small or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a terrible gift giver.
You'll be lucky to get a gift from me nowadays.
Yeah.
Like my son got me this hat for Christmas.
We talked about that hat in Nashville.
My son got me this hat. It's a very nice hat. So it's my favorite hat now.
And it says Hustle and Pop on the side.
Regardless of what the hat had on it.
Right.
Just because my son bought it for me.
Your son bought it for me. And I suppose I should embrace that.
Regardless of what it would have been.
Because the art, giving gifts, it really is an art.
Mm-hmm.
To be a good gift giver, you can't just be a regular schmo and be a good gift giver. You have to pay attention to people. It goes back to our conversation in the coffee shop. You have to really know someone's taste to give them a gift that really resonates and hits that they're going to hang on to and treasure.
Right.
And I'm not good at that.
No, I would brutally disagree. I seen you in action.
Not giving gifts though.
Yes, I see you in action, Shane.
I don't know about that, man.
You bought Luna Moth that picture, that $125 picture of the moth with the moon in the background. I was like, that's a gift she's gonna have the rest of her life.
It seemed like something she needed to have. I saw it. I thought of her.
I bet that was probably the best gift she got all year, probably in a long time.
Oh wow, that'd be. Wild.
I don't know. I don't think of a gift you could have gave her better than that.
Okay.
I bet if we didn't even ask her, she would say that's probably the best gift she's got in a long time. And that's something she can treasure.
I felt like it meant something to her, so it was
it
fun
did.
to do.
That's something she can treasure for a long. She gonna have that the rest of her life.
But if I had to get that and then like save it for Christmas and then come out with it at some kind of event and wait for it, it just seems like it wouldn't. I don't know.
That was an amazing gift.
Thanks, man. It was fun to do.
I was like, whoa. I was impressed with that gift you got her.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man. I don't know.
For you to see it, recognize it, even pay the money for it. It wasn't a cheap gift either.
It wasn't cheap. No.
That was not a cheap gift.
But you know what? I've known Lindsay Morgan, Luna Moth, a.k.a. whatever.
Shout
I've known
out
Lindsay
Luna
Morgan
Moth.
since the very beginning
Lindsay
of what
Morgan.
I'm doing, of the toy business.
So at least 6 years probably.
I can't tell you how many.
And how old is she? Maybe early 30s?
I don't know.
No, I don't want to put her age out there, but so you known her since she was probably in her
late 20s for sure, mid 20s, whatever.
young 20s.
Yeah, I went to her mother's wake. My wife and I did. We went to her mother's wake, and we've been around with Lindsay. And I guess one of the nice things about Lindsay Morgan is that sometimes a male-female friendship is fraught with whatever it may be fraught with. Sometimes it's hard to have a friend who's of the opposite gender, and with Lindsay Morgan, it's been nice to be like that. There's never been an awkward moment or whatever. Like we've just always been friends,
Right.
Oh shit, how's your day been? Oh man, listen, I'm doing this. Yeah,
But she's friends with you and your wife.
She's better friends with my wife than she is with me.
Of course,
me.
yeah.
So
It ain't like just
things...
she's my friend.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. And that probably makes a huge difference.
Yeah, she's friends with you and your wife.
And us being able to have a relaxed friendship is
or we can be around each other without my wife around, and
it's not,
nothing awkward or weird or strange. Or
if I was ever going to get weird with her, she would just call my wife. She'd be like,
she'll just
your
call
husband
you.
just said,
Right.
What if it's bullshit he said to me? No, that would not be it, But she's also an artist, and I like the things that she makes. I have her candles in my house. And, I don't know, saw that and it seemed like her. So,
that was a great gift.
So I got it. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Thoughtful.
But to do that and coordinate it with Christmas or some other holiday, a birthday or something like that. Look,
just because it's Christmas. Yeah. I understand.
Just to buy something just because I'm supposed to have a gift card. How in the hell are you going to give somebody a gift card? Like, what? I'm too broke to buy some Starbucks. I guess it's the thought that counts. But look, show up. Let's cook something together. Let's have a meal. Let's sit down. Let's have a drink and talk about something important.
You gave me a great gift Saturday. I think one of the best gifts someone can give me is just
Saturday. I didn't give you a gift.
Is their time. You spent all day with me Saturday.
Thanks, man.
You spent 13 hours with me Saturday.
I was sick of it by the end too, man.
I bet you were. I'm just like, oh man, I should have drove my old car. That's what you said to yourself.
No, we had a good time.
Honestly, that's one of the best gifts someone can give
thanks,
me. Just
man.
give me your time.
Oh, we had a good time though. We went to for those out there listening, we went to
those memories.
Monster Jam.
Yep. Went to
3 grown adults.
Yep.
3 grown men with no
3
kids
grown
involved.
Ass men
going to see Monster Jam. We had a great time.
All a surprise to me. I didn't know it was Monster Jam up to like 10 minutes before we walked into the building.
Yeah, we just walked in. They didn't have any advertisement out, so
they surprised me with it.
I don't know what I'm fixing to do. We get it going up in there, and in line, everybody had earmuffs. He's like, I bet it's Monster Jam, isn't it? We're like, yeah, we got it.
Yep, that's what gave it away when we walked back to the car, and I'm seeing all the earmuffs.
All the earmuffs, yeah.
And I'm like, this is Monster Jam.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it was Monster
And
Jam.
we had good seats. You know what? The thing is, everybody thinks front row is always the best seat. It's really not.
We had great seats.
It's really not. Our seats were perfect because you could see a bird's eye view of everything.
Correct.
You didn't get the up close of the one trick you wanted to see, but you saw every single trick. Oh, that was great.
It was.
We had a blast.
It's hard to miss. It's hard to miss those big ass trucks. Yeah, it comes to the VBC. I want to say.
My son and I went to. It was a tradition when he was younger to go to Monster Jam here in Huntsville. I've been a dozen times.
Yeah, I used to go a lot too when my oldest was younger. It was a lot more affordable back then too.
Yeah,
now
was.
you look at you be like, fuck, do I really
Now
want to
you
see
gotta-
those trucks that bad?
Yeah,
you know?
how bad?
How bad do I want to see these trucks? But it was a great show.
It was.
I'm gonna remember that the rest of my life.
It was fun.
It was fun, very fun.
Then we came back and had some. Well, we were going to Nick's Restaurante.
Nick's Restaurante.
We went to Nick's Restaurante. The food was delicious. The service was impeccable.
Yep.
The environment, the atmosphere was. It was a wonderful meal.
The company was great.
The company was great.
It was.
Your brother-in-law showed up.
My brother-in-law showed up. Enrique.
Shout out Enrique.
Enrique Simmons.
Shout out Enrique Simmons. Made the night
my
easier.
My brother-in-law, man.
You know what I was sitting there
He's
thinking?
a smooth dude, man.
He is smooth.
He's smooth.
His interview said that I was sitting there at the table.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking, laughing, telling some jokes and lies and having a good time, right? And I was just thinking, you know what? If we leave out of here and the cops need to talk to us, Enrique's going to be the one talking to
He
him.
the one to get us out of it. Yeah,
all three of us going to be hanging back. We're going to push Enrique, man. Let's go talk to that cop.
Because they talk to me, we going to jail, bro.
Because he was smooth. He was smooth, though. It was funny thinking
he's a
about
smooth
that.
dude.
And he hadn't been at Monster Jam drinking beer all day. And
Nope. He's a smooth dude, man. I would classify him as a role model.
I remember thinking that. Oh yeah.
I would definitely make him. He's one of my role models.
Now, who is Enrique?
Because
That's your brother.
Enrique got to be 46, maybe.
Okay.
He's every bit of 45. I want to say he's probably 46.
That's Cynthia's brother.
Cynthia's stepsister's husband.
Stepsister's husband.
Yeah, so Cynthia's sister's husband.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yes, Cynthia's.
So he's not even blood
husband.
related, and he showed up. For
He's
your
not
birthday.
even blood. Oh no, yeah,
Had a
he
steak with us.
Yep, had a steak with me.
Yeah,
with us.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
Man, we had a great time.
We had a great time.
And Nick gave it away. Like Nick should never even sitting there walking over there. So Nick was like, "Yeah, we got another surprise for you. Someone in there waiting on you." And I'm like, "Well, there's only so many people I like.
So many people I think could it be?
It could be, you know." And
hey, look,
sure enough,
shout out Nick. I love you, brother.
Oh,
it sure was
man.
fun having a great day with you.
Nick can't hold water.
I know one thing right now.
Don't tell
I'm
that
not telling you the secret.
Don't
man.
tell Nick a secret.
He's too excited.
Unless you
man.
want everyone to know it.
Look, he acts all low key, like he's but he can't wait to tell his secret.
Nah,
Nick, man, I had a great time. That was fun.
Nicholas Moore.
And you know what? The thing to me is, I feel like I made a new friend that day because me and Nick knew one another, but we didn't really.
Passing, really.
But yeah, we had met. That's pretty much just the way that it was.
And
now,
hey, he's a friend.
That's my boy. Come
That's
on,
your
over.
boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Nick.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. What you need, man? I'm
Nick,
there.
Nick, Nick's one of my best friends.
Nick's a good
and
dude.
I got very little.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
And he got us to Nashville and back. Drove us up there.
He did get us to Nashville.
Drove us up there and back.
I had to hit the brake a couple times on my side.
Dude, he was, he got a heavy foot, man. That Maxima was.
That Maxima was rolling.
Put her in the wind, didn't he?
Put her in the wind. I was like, damn,
What are
dude.
we doing, man?
Uh-huh.
But you know what? I rode in the back seat. It's been a long time since I rode in the back seat.
You just enjoyed the ride.
I just kicked back. I didn't pull my phone out. I never even.
You probably just sit back there and listen to us talk shit.
I listened to y'all talk some shit. I looked out the window. I felt like I was 12 years old again, just riding in the car.
Right.
I did. It was a good time.
I love Nick. I love him.
Good
man.
times had
Nick's
by
a great
all.
guy. Shout out Nick Moore.
Shout out Nick Moore.
And I think the MVP of this whole situation is my wife, Cynthia.
Shout out Cynthia Darden.
Cynthia Darden put it together. I mean, big surprise.
She made sure we knew what was going on.
Yep.
Shout out Cynthia Darden.
Yep.
What a great time.
And she made sure y'all knew what was going on,
Look,
but I had no clue.
She even sent a follow-up message.
I didn't know.
She even sent a follow-up message like a true professional. That doesn't even seem like it covers it really. Thanks for helping out. Couldn't have done whatever it was. Shout out Cynthia.
Shout out Cynthia Darden. Because all she told me was be ready by 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
Second greatest wife in the world.
Yep.
Second greatest. The second greatest. Q might disagree with me, but I'm going to say the second greatest wife in the world.
Man. There you go. She said, just be ready at 10 o'clock. Someone's coming to pick you up. That's all I knew.
That's all you knew.
That's all I knew.
So when did you know y'all were coming to my house? You said what?
About 3 minutes from your house.
About 3 minutes from now.
Because then Nick was
like,
like, I know he's gonna be like, what the hell we going to Shane's house for? So he just went on and told me, he can't hold water. He could have waited till we got to the driveway. He couldn't
even wait. He should have just been playing it out, just like pulled up, be like, wait a minute. I've been here before.
Yeah, damn Shane's house.
What's going on? There go Hank.
Like 3 minutes before we got there. And then I didn't even know we was going to that. The follow on was Nashville. I didn't even know that. until we start heading that way and talking about it.
And even then, we're drinking in the bar across from the Bridgestone, and still you didn't know where we were going.
I had no clue. It was a total
surprise.
You
knew we were going to the Bridgestone, but you didn't know what was happening.
Correct.
But
total
there's only
surprise.
a few things that happen at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And I ain't even look it up, though. I wasn't looking at the billboard. I wasn't trying to look it up. I was like, okay, I'm just going to let it be a surprise. What gave it away was the damn earmuffs when we had to go back to the car.
It was a good time, though.
It was. That $150 pocket knife gave it away.
What?
Your $150 pocket knife gave it away.
My pocket knife? You always calling me out on some bullshit.
Your pocket knife gave it away. That's why we had to go back to the car.
We had to walk all the way.
We had to walk all the way back to the car. So I'm seeing passing the crowd. I'm seeing in passing. Right. Like, damn, why all these people holding on to earmuffs?
We get up there and we realize they got metal detectors.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't carrying a gun, but I did have my pocket knife, and it's probably a little bit bigger than maybe some pocket knives are.
Mm-hmm.
We had to walk all the way back to the car to put the pocket knife away because I wasn't going to just throw it in the garbage. If it was a $20 pocket knife, that's one thing.
Right.
But I spent a couple of coins on this pocket knife, and I needed to keep it.
It's a nice pocket knife.
So on the way back you saw the earmuffs.
I saw all the kids with earmuffs.
That's what gave it away.
Yep, that's what gave it away.
But that's pretty good to be there and still not know.
It still didn't. I had no clue. I really wasn't trying to find out. I was just trying to live in the moment and be surprised.
That's what I like about your Q. You know what? I would have been. What the hell's going on? Where am I going? I don't know.
I was just living in the moment.
Relax, chill out.
I was just living in the moment.
Oh, somebody else is buying a beer? Shit, okay.
Yep.
We going to Nashville then.
Yep. But we had a great time. Grown ass men.
Broadway.
Enjoying a monster truck show.
On a Saturday at 1 o'clock, 12:30 in the afternoon, Broadway Street in Nashville was already jumping.
It was jumping.
It was already
And it was
jumping.
really jumping when we came out.
Do what? The show started at 1.
We got there about...
We were drinking in the bar across from the place at like just barely after 12.
Just
we
barely
showed
after
up,
12, yeah.
Sat down at a bar, ordered a couple of beers. We ended up having 2 rounds of beers. And then we went in and watched the monster trucks. And when we came out of the bar to walk across the street, it was literally just right there. We didn't have to walk down the street. It was right there across from the entrance to the Bridgestone. And you could already see people just everywhere. And this was probably 12:45.
Yep.
And then...
Well, we got out of the jam about...
Like 3:30.
3:30. And it was really packed in. Now they got the street blocked off.
Had the streets blocked off already. And there was a lot of people there.
Yep. Sidewalks crowded.
Crowded sidewalks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And you could only imagine, come 10 o'clock at night, that place is going to be asses to elbows.
Yep.
You wouldn't even be able to get through there hardly. Broadway in Nashville.
But it was a good birthday.
I mean, that's world famous, though.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, that's Bourbon Street. That's, think of whatever famous streets that you see.
Bill, Bourbon, Broadway.
Yeah.
Bill, they all start with a B.
Bill Street is...
You ever put that together?
Never thought about that.
Bill Street, Bourbon Street, Broadway. I've been in all 3 of them.
I have too. Oh, no, I haven't been on Bourbon Street.
I haven't been to Bourbon.
I've never been to New Orleans.
Never been in New Orleans.
You know what? I never felt like I needed to go there. That was never one of the... All my buddies went there. My buddy went there, and he came back telling me this crazy story about getting sucker punched on the street right there in Bourbon Street. He said he was just walking down the street, and somebody said, "Hey," and he turned around to see what was going on. And some dude
punched the shit out of him.
Just hit him right in the face. He said he was bloody. Fuck. People pissing in the alleys just on the street. Oh, right there.
It smelled like ass down there.
I just don't.
That's the one thing I remember about it. Just the smell.
I don't get that.
Like,
South Beach, Miami is my place.
That's a smell,
as you all know. And South Beach is right there by the ocean. Like, if some crazy stuff goes on, the ocean is going to... It smells like salt water there.
Correct.
It smells like the beach there.
Been to South Beach.
South Beach is fun. I love South Beach.
Been to South Beach.
Shout out Mitch Novick with the Sherbrooke Hotel. 9th and Collins.
That's the guy you stay with.
That's my guy right there.
Okay, That's your guy. Mitch
on the
Mitch
news.
Novick.
Mitch Novick. He was on the news this weekend.
Oh, was he one of those guys who...
Dude, that's a very familiar sight right there.
Building seeking.
Mr. Producer's got the skyline of South Beach. It's one of those places where when you walk, you can't go on the beach after 10 because they've had so much crime, but you walk the street and the old Art Deco style hotels with all the neon lights lit up and everything. It's one of the most beautiful.
The neon lights.
Looking back into it. Mr. Producer, look up Sherbrooke Hotel. Sherbroke, Sherbrooke Hotel in Miami Beach.
What'd you say his guy name? Mitch
Novick.
Novick.
There it is right there. I got that on my cell phone. So look at that second eyebrow up. That room right there on the corner, that's room 309 or 312. I can't remember which one it was. We know the owner, and so we always get that same room. I got pictures looking out of that balcony. Matter of fact, in Jessica's office,
and it's looking right at the beach.
No, it's at 9th and Collins. You can't see the beach from there, but it's a block away.
You can't see the water from it.
From the
roof,
you're
not far from the water.
From the roof, you can see the water.
Okay.
My guy Mitch built a penthouse on the very roof of it.
Shit, we went to South Beach about 3 years ago.
Where'd y'all stay?
Oh, I can't even remember, Shane. We stayed, it was a good distance from the beach. Like, we had to drive 30 minutes to get to the beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had to drive a good distance. We stayed way off the water.
Oh, there it is right there, the Sherbrooke. But, that window right there, that window right there in the corner, I got pictures. I got pictures in that window. That's all I'm going to say.
You was in your birthday suit in the window.
I mean, I was the one taking the picture, so I'm going to let you do the math and we'll move right on. But let me just say, I got a particular picture. That exact view that you're looking at right there, I got a particular picture of that view that if you zoom on the window, you'll like the view. I'm just saying it'll give you a little smirk at least, you'll do better than a Mona Lisa. That exact window that you're looking at right there.
The Mona Lisa.
But here's the thing. If you sit in that window, here's the other thing. Just below that window, see that front porch right there? There's a railing right there on the left-hand side. And you can put a chair at the end of that railing right there. You can put a few chairs in there. And on the Friday, Saturday night at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning from that railing.
Oh, you got reality TV.
It's better than anything you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's reality TV. Yeah.
You want me to tell you a story about that railing? So I'm sitting on that railing one night. Jessica was asleep up in room 312 upstairs. And I'm sitting on that railing you're looking at right there in South Beach. This is 9th and Collins in South Beach. If you know that area.
Okay.
It was hopping, right? And I got a cooler beside my chair, and I'm just popping a cold one. I've been sitting there all night. I got my dugout with me. I'm chill, right? Jessica's asleep upstairs. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just sitting on that chair, right? And I'm sitting there watching. And this tall, you ever see David Bowie's wife? You remember her with the real, what was her name? She was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Just the bone structure. She was a model. I can't remember her name. You know what I'm talking about, right? I was drunk, okay, but it could have been her twin walking up the street. And I saw her walking up the street the first time in this tight little dress, and I notice her, and she comes walking up. I don't say anything. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. What's her name? Iman. Beautiful woman.
Okay.
So, anyways, this chick comes walking up the street. I notice her, whatever. Like 45 minutes later, I see her coming from the other side. Now I'm really 3 sheets to the wind, and I'm not construction guy ogling her, but, she knows I'm looking at her, right? She's beautiful. She walks up to the railing beside the porch where I'm sitting at. She leans on the railing. She smiles at me. I smile back at her. She looks deep in my eyes, and she said,
how close are y'all to one another? Are you on the ground level with her? Or?
I'm on the ground 3 feet away. I'm as close as me and you. She leans in. She looks me right in my eyes, and she goes, hi, are you looking for a date?
She was a lady man, a lady boy.
She was beautiful, but she was most definitely
a lady boy.
This is a true story. This happened in Miami. So I'm standing there, and what are you going to do? I've already appreciated the landscape. She knows I was looking.
Wow.
This individual, whatever this person identified as,
what year was this?
This was probably 10 years ago or so, give or take. I don't know.
Imagine the technology they got now.
I smiled. She looked at me. Hi. Were you looking for a date? I looked at her and smiled.
So he was working the blade.
Was working it. Was willing to go into the dunes of the beach with me at 3 o'clock in the morning for whatever it was. I didn't go deep into the menu, but that was her preferred. The dunes are where it can all happen. I can make your life. I can make your night magical. You're staying. So
what was your response after that?
I was pretty intoxicated. And I feel like I'm a fairly open-minded kind of guy. I'm not open-minded enough that I was interested, of course. All right. So I don't remember exactly the timeline, but I'm in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I was at probably Mandalay Bay, or maybe, I think I was in the Mandalay Bay. And I saw a hooker. You see hookers out there. It's not like, you see some out there. It's not legal in Vegas, contrary to popular belief. It's legal like in 2 counties over or whatever. But, they had wink, wink, nod, nod, whatever. So I met a hooker there, and
they probably not enforcing it that hard either, though.
I don't think, no, because it's
not legal, but they not enforcing it either.
I'm just a regular dude from Alabama, and I know it's a hooker. So the guys, that the security knows who it is. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, long story short, I had a conversation with this hooker. And I was no more interested in engaging her services than I was in engaging the services of the person that I met in South Beach. This particular hooker, I'm sure, was female. Again, neither one of them was enough to, tempt my tummy with the taste of nuts and honey, as it were.
Right.
But it's a fascinating experience to talk to somebody who does this for a living, or at least is involved in this. It really is fascinating to think about. This is a human being. This is somebody's daughter or somebody's son. In the one case, what it was. But it's fascinating to talk to somebody who's gotten to the point where selling themselves as a person is what they do. The one in Vegas.
Wow. But I bet they make some fast money.
The one in Vegas, I let her talk me all the way. I listened to her spiel before I finally said no, but her final offer was $50 for a few moments in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom at the Mandalay Bay.
$50.
You got to figure they got. Yeah, this is a blowjob we're talking about. I mean,
right,
we should have given us some. Do we need to bleep that out? Maybe we'll bleep it. We'll see.
BJ.
But that was her final offer. After she kept saying, I'm looking for an excuse. I really was interested in having a conversation.
Just having a conversation
with the person.
With the person.
I wasn't interested in her services, and so I would come up with excuses. Like, she's like, hey, you got a room upstairs? I'm like, yeah, but I got a roommate. He's probably up there right now. And her answer to that was, well, does that matter?
He could get one too, probably. Look, a 2 for 1.
She was probably looking for a 2 for 1.
A 2 for 1.
And so when that excuse didn't work, it went all the way down to, we'll go into the men's room right quick and step into one of the stalls, and I'll, And I'm thinking, it may not have been the Mandalay Bay, but it was one of the major casinos. This was not an off the beat. This was on the strip at the nicer end, down there where Mandalay Bay and Luxor and MGM and all that is. And they got to have cameras. And she was willing to, as a female, an obviously dressed female, she wasn't hiding it. You know what I'm saying? This was no Amish chick. She was willing to follow me into the bathroom and conduct business in a stall in the bathroom.
Wow.
Which I found, just the implications of that I found to be, that's wild to me. Like, you're willing. So either, maybe she's got to deal with security.
Oh, she probably throw him a couple bucks.
Or throw him something.
You throw me.
Look, something.
Let's say she make, $1,000 a night. She throw me $50 just to look the other way.
Just to look the other way.
Out of that 1,000 she made. Yeah. Oh, hey, do your business.
And every time she comes around, you're going to get that same $50.
Yeah, you throw me $50 and look the other way.
Yeah. And I would imagine 1,000. I want to say
I would take that deal.
So I think her opening salvo. Oh, I know what it was. When I said I got a roommate and he's probably upstairs, she said I got a friend.
Even better.
500 each. 500 each.
500. We better have you for the weekend.
I can call her right now. Unbelievable that somebody takes their money that way. But to me, like I said, I wasn't tempted at all, but it was fascinating to have the conversation and to find out what the story is.
So how many what they call them, Johns tricks? They got a name what they call, like,
I mean, if you all right, look, I don't mean to be crass,
either John or Trick.
If it's a $50 time in the bathroom, how long is that going to take?
Let's say even if it took 10 minutes,
which it probably won't.
Who's making $50 for 10 minutes of work?
$50 for 10 minutes. Of course, you got the downtime in between finding somebody who's willing to give you $50 and take the chance of going into the bathroom.
That's why I say it's quick money. I couldn't imagine it though.
Yeah, I can't imagine it either. I can only imagine it because I've been adjacent enough to have spoken. And again, but to me,
like you said, that's someone's daughter. Like, I couldn't imagine my daughter doing something like that. or even any family member, a sister, a daughter, a aunt,
but
a
now,
cousin.
Flip it around now because you're staying in the same lane, but I'm gonna flip you over to the next lane, like you bowling in lane 22. You finna throw in lane 23 because come all the way back to the beginning of the story, which started with a trans person in Miami.
Right.
So now we ain't talking about your daughter. I'm gonna let you wrap your mind around that for a second. Now we ain't talking about your daughter.
It's worse either way.
Damn. Now, that having been said, this person that I met in Miami, this is hi. Were you looking for a date?
Wasn't even trying to hide it.
I don't know this
because I'm pretty sure he can mask his voice too, though. So he was trying to he was trying to give you what he had up front. He want no surprises.
You can tuck certain things in, but you can't tuck in your Adam's apple. You can't tuck in your Adam's apple.
From where you were standing, you was like looked like damn Iman.
And that was 3 sheets, and she did look like Iman.
Looked like Iman. So she
one way or another,
or he was doing something very
This person had me fooled, but the voice was never going to fool me. And
he was cisgendered.
No, I think he was non-cisgendered.
Yeah,
cisgendered is you and me. People who correspond to their birth gender.
Cisgender was the trans.
No. Cisgender is a person who corresponds to the gender of their birth. Yeah. That's cisgender.
Okay, so we're cis. We'll be the cisgender.
Cisgender, quote unquote. Yeah,
or a regular
people.
We say regular, like they irregular, but your natural born state of mind, or your natural born state of.
If you are
physical abilities.
If you identify as the gender on your birth certificate, you are cisgender.
You are cis.
Yeah. That's like
CIS.
CIS, yeah. And by the way, that's like 99% of humans alive are quote unquote cisgender. Identify as the gender of their birth. Yeah. But you do you.
Hey, you
sister, brother, cousin, niece, twin. You do you, hey, twin. I love you, twin.
Hey, twin. Since we're in the vein of like prostitutes, I'll tell you my first experience with a prostitute.
The truth is stranger than fiction.
The truth is stranger than fiction. So I think I kind of told y'all this story, but I never told it on air. You know, I never put it out there to the public. So,
all right, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to think about this twice.
I'm gonna put it out there.
Here we go.
So,
Vendor
Chronicles.
Look, from now on, I'm gonna digress for a second.
Oh, man.
You know, like when you're on the playground and you're shooting hoops with somebody, and you shoot up a 3, and you're like Kobe. You shoot up another, you like Stephen Curry, you know, whatever it is.
Kobe.
I forgot where I was going with that now.
I don't know.
Shit.
We just
Vendor Chronicles. No, Kevin was on the same
Chronicles.
Like, every time I gotta say something that's real, but I might not be ashamed of, I'm gonna say Vendor Chronicles. I'm just gonna say it like I'm shooting up a 3.
I'm not ashamed of it, you know. Just my first experience.
I've had a few experiences with prostitutes myself. That
my
doesn't
first
mean I ever
experience
paid one,
with a prostitute, I was like 8 years old.
Oh wow!
And so, my mom had a younger brother who used to like to steal her car keys. Remember, I told y'all this story. Never on air though. Never on air. I don't think I told him.
I don't think this has been on air.
Yeah, this ain't an aired
story.
Tell
it to me, man.
So I'm gonna tell it again.
Your uncle.
My uncle. My mom's younger brother.
Your mom's younger brother. Your uncle.
My uncle.
How much older was he than you?
He's 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So if I'm 8, he's 18, 19. Definitely less than 20.
If you are 18,
but an adult, but less than 20.
8-year-old nephew around, you are messing with his head.
Oh my goodness!
Like you trying to mess with him?
Oh yeah, he used to whoop my ass. I mean, he was horrible to me as a kid.
So this is where we're at. Okay, your uncle.
But you know, it was some perks to having a older uncle in the house. Sure. You know, because I got to see some shit that I shouldn't.
Take a few ass whippers, but you might
take some ass whippers, but I get to experience and see some shit that I shouldn't see or experience. So he used to like to steal my mom's car keys, so she would hide them under her pillow in the room.
Okay,
she would sleep with her car keys under her pillow.
Under the pillow, just because he like to steal them. But he no dummy. So one night, I'm in there watching TV. I think we had just got cable. We had the little black box with the red, the fucking red numbers on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm probably watching some like scratchy looking porn show. You know, like you can kind of see it come through a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I got the TV way down. My mom asleep. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it, but you couldn't really see it. But you can kind of make out the silhouettes. So I don't know. You know, I was up to no good as an 8-year-old. Right. You know.
I could have been 9 or 10, but so he comes in the room. It had to be like 2 in the morning. It was late. It was late or early, however you want to look at it. And as soon as he opened the door, he does this. Shh. He puts his finger up to me because he see I'm still awake.
Okay.
And I'm like, my eyes light up.
What the hell?
He damn like the burglar, like damn tiptoe over to my pillow, and just gently slide his hands under the damn pillow and grab the keys and pull them out. And he's like, "You want to go? You want to go?" Like, I think he done shush me. Now he doing the, come on.
Come on, baby.
I'm like, shit, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think my mom had like this old blue Cadillac DeVille.
Nothing like a Cadillac DeVille.
Big plush leather seats inside it. The seats match the damn. The carpets match the drapes. You know what I'm saying? Like the damn car was blue. The seats was blue. Yeah, we talking about the car. We talking about the car. So
okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Man, we get out there. We go to what they call
I've driven a few Cadillacs before. If you know what I'm saying.
We go to where all the prostitutes hang out. You know what I'm saying? It's like metropolitan now. It's like the metropolitan area of Atlanta.
It's gentrified.
I don't think the area is too gentrified just yet. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm pretty sure that area is still pretty rough.
But it's where the ladies work the corner.
Yeah. Fulton Industrial, Metropolitan, all that kind of runs together. So we get there. Hey, he picks up a prostitute. I'm in the back seat. I climb over the back seat when the prostitute gets in the car.
She gets in the front. You climb over to the back.
Yes, she gets in the front.
8 years old.
I'm 8 years old.
Do you know what a prostitute is?
I don't even know what a prostitute is yet. Okay, I know what sex is though. I don't know what a prostitute is.
Okay, but you don't really know what sex is. You just
I got an idea though. Like I said, I'm sneaking, watching the black box.
For sure, right?
Okay,
right.
You put it together. As you grow, but so
you got the outline.
We drive around. We drive around to wherever, I'm a kid. I don't remember all those details, but I know we drive to a certain location. They both get out, get in the back, have me to climb back over up to the front. And next thing you know, you hear them doing their business back there.
The caddy is rocking.
The caddy is rocking. So me being me, I'm like peeking over the damn.
Of course you peeking over the front seat.
Watching them. Handle the business.
Handle what has to be done.
Handle the business. Like, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
But not knowing this shit is crazy. Like I would never do this with my kids.
Right. And you would never want your kids to.
And I would never want my kids to experience something like this.
All right. So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If you could go all the way back to your 8-year-old self. As an adult, you get to make the decision whether your 8-year-old self says, when he says, "You want to go with me?" You either say yes or no, right? Right now, if you could change that decision and say no, would you?
No. I'm getting in the caddy.
Isn't it funny how we never want our kids to get in the caddy, but we wouldn't change the fact that we got in the caddy?
I'm getting in the caddy, Shade.
I'm getting in the caddy,
and like
too,
you said, it was probably not even 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. And only thing we took her back to where we picked her up. He let her out. He let her out right there, and we went on back to the house.
Like one of those little scooters you rent when you're done with it.
That motherfucker put the keys back, and it was like that night never happened.
And you didn't sleep all night, I'm sure. Like, what the fuck did I just see? The hell was that?
I remember that to this day.
Of course you remember.
I remember that to this day. My uncle took me to go have sex with a prostitute.
Yeah. Where's he now?
He's still around.
He's still around?
Yeah, he's still around.
If I ever meet him at a function or whatever, like, give me some kind of a wink or something, let me know.
That's him.
That's the dude right there.
That motherfucker crazy, man.
He tore up a prostitute in the back of my mama's Cadillac.
Yep. Did a prostitute in the back of my uncle.
That is so funny.
Back of my mom's Cadillac.
But I think that goes, we've talked a lot about fatherhood and raising kids and being family man, and we are that. But that doesn't mean... As a child, when you grow up and see the world the way you thought it was versus the way it really is, I don't know. There's something about that dichotomy that fascinates me. Because not everybody has those experiences.
No. I grew up. I mean, but, who's growing up with a 18-year-old uncle in the house with him? You know what I'm saying? An uncle that's 10 years his senior.
You know who is?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know who is?
Who?
Enzo.
Well, Q's going to be gone by the time he even
No.
want to take.
Enzo is 2 now, and Q is 18.
Oh, it's a big difference. But they won't be in the house like we were. I would think not.
All right.
You know.
Leilani.
Well, you know, girls move a little bit differently.
That's
too.
true. That's true.
And Leilani got some sense. My uncle didn't have no sense.
No, I'm saying
He's still barely holding on.
I'm
to
saying what has Leilani seen from Q?
I don't know.
I ain't trying to put Q on blast now.
I don't think much. It's probably what damn
of course
Leilani done showed
Dad.
Q.
You know what? You may be right about that. Leilani she's sharp.
I think Leilani's ear more closer to the streets than Q is.
I would say Leilani is most definitely street smart.
Yeah, her ear is more closer to the streets.
If I had to, you think about if you had to have, if you were a kid, if somehow Leilani got Home Alone, like the movie, you know what I'm saying? I believe she'd be all right when you got back.
Oh yeah, she'll be good.
I believe she'd be fine. I believe she.
Disposition. Now that you say that, just looking at Leilani, like how she carries herself.
I agree.
Like she's very alert, attentive.
Oh yeah,
she's very situationally aware,
and she can fit in anywhere with anybody,
and she can fit in anywhere
talk
with anybody.
To anyone.
And of course, she's what 12, 13?
Yeah, she'll be 13 this year.
But she's cute as a bug.
Yeah,
like if you put 3 kittens in a pile on one side and Leilani like dancing on the other side, I don't know which one's cuter. I don't know. Leilani's super cute, and at that age, but she knows how to talk to adults too. Yeah, no, she'd be all right. Like if Leilani got lost in Central Station, whatever it is, you know, she'd figure out how to get in touch with you.
Right.
She'd figure out something. She'd be all right. You'd come back looking for her. She'd probably be like in the back room in like a VIP suite.
Like, look who I
She
met.
would have some chips and a soda. She'd have some sunglasses on. She'd be like, I just met Usher. We were dancing. I'm going to be on this new video.
Usher.
No, Leilani's cool. And you know what? Had it not been for Leilani, you and I might have never started this podcast.
That is true.
Because
I
Leilani
never even had a conversation.
would always come to my booth and hang out and play with trains and help me sell train stuff.
So
whatever. She was always hanging out at my booth.
So she had to be about 7 or 8 when she used to come to your booth.
Yeah.
You know.
Probably a full year before we really even started talking about it. Other than, hey, I know you and I see my daughter at your booth. Don't be crazy.
Correct.
I ain't crazy, but I see why you watching me. You know what I'm saying? And, that was probably a year. And then, wow, isn't that fascinating to think about? This whole thing.
Really, if you think about it, Leilani's the reason we really met.
Could have never probably been to this level had it not been for Leilani.
That is, yep.
Shout out Leilani.
Shout out Leilani Darden. Leilani Apolline Javalis Darden.
Wait, what? Say that again. Go on. Come on.
Leilani Apolline. That's Cynthia's mother's name.
I knew that was going to be a family name.
And then Javalis is my mother's name.
Javalis. Leilani Apolline Javalis Darden.
Yep.
So I already know now if Leilani does something stupid at the market and I gotta say something.
That's how I spell Apolline.
Leilani Apollina Jarvis
Javalis. Like Java-less.
But if I could come out with
you
that whole thing,
remember Java because you're a coffee drinker.
I
Java.
guarantee she would be like
Java.
What you just called me?
Leilani Apolline.
You know my whole name?
Javalis.
That would be
Darden.
very funny.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh.
But I've seen her in the coffee shop interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in there ordering coffee and waiting for my coffee, and she come in and just sit down beside me, and we're just sitting there chilling.
Yep.
Just like she's an old soul.
She loved to hang out at the coffee shop.
Oh yeah, of course.
She'll sit there and do whatever she does. She's an artist at heart.
I
She's always drawing something or coloring something. Yeah, your wife took a picture of something that she colored in and used it at one. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like some pastel colors or whatever. Yep.
Wow.
Leilani, she's just. I guess it's just in some people.
Some people have a creative spirit, and some people don't.
Yeah.
And I think if you nurture that from a young age,
which I mean, she dances. She dances, damn near professionally. You could say she dances professionally.
Oh, for sure.
Like she's been dancing competition since I can remember.
For years. Yeah.
Competition dancing, competitively that we pay. And dance is another form of art. But outside of that dance, she
encourage creativity in your kids, folks. Encourage creativity in your kids.
Most definitely.
I think about regrets in life, maybe more than I should. But either way, if there's one thing that I wish that I had been encouraged creatively when I was younger by somebody. I wish somebody would have seen I got a little bit of creative spirit in me.
Mm-hmm.
But
what if someone nurtured that when
no one ever that was really repressed. I the environment that I grew up in, creativity was not a virtue.
Mm-hmm.
And if it had been differently, who knows what I might have been able to create by now.
Right.
But I don't know, but nothing. But
okay.
That's an excuse to use to not be a creative now. Does that make sense? In other words, I'm not going to use the fact that no one ever nurtured that in me.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to nurture it myself.
Nurture it, correct.
I'm going to nurture it myself.
That's where I was going to go with.
Which is why I'm trying to teach myself how to play the harmonica.
Oh, you're doing a pretty good job at it.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna try really hard to, I think music is. I think it's impossible to overestimate the power of music in everyday life. My son was over at the house last night and we were cooking something. I can't remember what we were doing, but he was watching Madeline watch some kind of cartoons, and he commented on the fact that all cartoons, all kids' shows or whatever it is going to have music in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I reminded him of the fact that every organization in the entire world that's ever tried to get mass participation has included music, whether it be a cult,
a jingle,
whether it be the movies, whether it be the military, a jingle, a corporation.
Yeah,
there's always music
jingle
incorporated in everything because our minds respond to music in a way that I'm not going to try to explain it.
I think the best way I could put it is music invades your subconscious without your permission.
Oh,
like it invades your soul without even you giving it permission. Like you can't not just tune it out. You're, like how many jingles we know without even trying to learn them,
for sure,
or even really giving them a lot of thought, and you're like, okay, I know that.
And I think it's
I'm
twofold.
loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
We all know what that is.
Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
He made the McDonald's jingle.
Pharrell did the McDonald's jingle, the ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it.
Apparently, some rendition of.
I can see that.
I thought that predated him.
Wow. Well, Pharrell been around for about at least probably 30 years, 25, 30 years.
Some kind of royalty check for.
I would say 30.
Here's an interesting example. 2 companies I have worked for. One Arby's, one McDonald's. What's Arby's slogan?
That's the
We have the meats.
We have the meats.
It's just a dude saying we have the meats, right?
We have the meats.
Give me a McDonald's slogan. We just said ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Give me another one.
Pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
The whole Big Mac song.
The whole Big Mac song.
Every
2 all beef patties.
Special sauce,
lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame bun.
You know the ingredients.
I haven't heard that in years, and I know
Big Mac,
exactly
and you
what
still
the
know it.
And I still know it. I haven't heard it in years. It done invaded my subconscious.
We got the meats is going to be a real generational thing.
We got
20 years from now,
meats.
nobody's going to know it. But just think, when I said that, you brought up a commercial from 20 years ago, 25 years ago. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Big Mac. Music.
Never tried to learn it.
Never tried to learn it. Never meant to learn it.
Never meant to learn it.
But music is just the sound of it. We've been talking a lot lately about that song by Lil Jon.
It's intrusive.
Some a rocker by heart, heavy metal, Anthrax, Metallica, some of the old stuff. I still remain to this day a huge AC/DC fan.
Mm-hmm.
But that song Turned Down for What by Lil Jon and whatever the hell that other dude is. There's something about that song that makes you want to, like, I'm in my shop. I'm 53 years old. I'm as white as, look, how white am I? I'm going to give you a shot, man. Go ahead. How white am I?
Hey, you white as snow.
I'm white as it gets, man. Don't get that. And I'm listening to Lil Jon at 53 years old. I turned down for it. I'm like, that shit good right there. That's good. I like it. I feel like that dude on the Coming to America listening to Sexual Chocolate. He good right there. He good. They good. Shaking his hair.
Yeah, good and terrible.
Oh, wow.
They good. Oh, man.
You know what I just
music's
noticed?
amazing, though.
We never did an intro to this episode.
Oh, we never did.
We just started talking. Look, if y'all don't know who we are now,
I think they know it, but it's still good to have. We need to come up with a jingle intro.
we're talking about music.
Since talking about
We need
music,
to have
like
a
what people
musical
hear and they
intro.
know that's Vendor Chronicles. I'm just throwing an idea out there. Since we're in that vein.
Next session we can start with that.
Since
think about that?
We're in that music vein. Like, damn.
Am I singing or playing piano? I mean, singing or playing
Or
harmonica.
harmonica.
Which am I doing?
Ooh.
That's hard to do at the same time.
A little intro.
I could do some blues. You know, blues can be like, on the day I was born. I don't know.
The
I don't know how to
nurses
really do that
all
good.
gather round.
And occasion wide wonder
at
the joy they found. The head nurse spoke up. Said, leave this one alone. She could tell right away
Dun 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 dun.
I was bad to the bone.
Dun dun dun.
We just saw the monster trucks, and that's what
bad.
bad. George Thorogood.
George Thorogood.
George Thorogood.
Oh man, that's
Shout
good
out
stuff.
80s music. There was
Yeah,
some really
that
good
was
music in the
good
80s.
stuff.
It got drowned out by like Depeche Mode or whatever.
The who?
Depeche Mode.
What the hell is that?
It was an 80s band that sucked really bad.
I never even heard of them. I guess that's why.
Personal Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a Johnny Cash song. I don't know if Depeche Mode redid it.
I never heard Depeche Mode.
You didn't miss
First one
anything.
I heard was Depeche Mode's cover of it.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Johnny Cash wrote that, although I might be wrong on that. He did. He definitely performed it.
Is Johnny Cash 80s though? He's not 80s.
Johnny Cash.
What year was Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash transcends generation.
I know, but what year was he though?
When he was the biggest, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, just before he died, he recorded that "Hurt," the 9 Inch Nails song "Hurt."
The latest that was his latest stuff. But
When he
like,
was old, he was in his.
When did he make
80s
like
then.
damn Ring of Fire and all that?
Oh, that would have been
Folsom Prison.
70s.
I would say probably 70s.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. You know, Preparation
could be.
tried to license that song. Preparation H tried to license that song for a commercial,
Oh,
and he told him to kiss his ass.
oh man, he could
You
have still
ain't
been getting
using
paid off that song to this
Well,
day.
he's-
Probably.
he's dead now, of course, but you know,
You ever thought about this people that's dead that make more money than you?
Elvis for sure. Yeah.
I mean, to this day,
Elvis makes more money dead than he did alive.
that he did a lot. You
Yeah.
worth more dead than you are
Worth
alive.
more dead than alive. Yeah, he made more money. Kurt Cobain is probably another one. Anybody that
Kurt
died.
Cobain.
You know, Elvis wasn't young when he died, but he was the first like megastar.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis was, you know, he there was nobody as big as him until he came around,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Beatles and what have you. And so, yeah, he makes more money now than
More
his
money
estate.
dead. Oh, more dead than.
Makes you wonder all that goes.
That's crazy.
So listen, we didn't do an intro, but Mr. Producer Man is telling me to shut the.
It is.
You know, he says somebody's
Look,
getting late.
you ever worked with someone be like, man, it's dangerously close to quitting time.
Dangerously close to quitting time.
You know, work with one of those people.
I know.
I think everybody out of work,
Dangerously
I always
close.
had a dangerously close person.
Dangerously close.
Oh man,
it's dangerously close to quitting time.
It's damn dangerously close to break.
We find ourselves in that situation now.
Always dangerously close.
You know what I always do though?
Uh-huh.
I need some words of wisdom here.
Oh damn, Shane.
It's been 2 weeks and I've had no wisdom in 2 weeks. None.
Oh no, where
3
you gonna
weeks
get it from?
almost. I mean, I'm looking for you, brother.
don't come to me.
Cue the messenger. Come on and tell me what you got for me. I know something.
I kind of touched on it earlier today. You know, I talked about how at 40, life is just starting.
I agree.
So the first couple decades, you just doing research. I would call it your persona phase. You still trying to figure out who you are, what you want to be. You in your persona phase. Then once you get about 40, your 40s and your 50s, that's when you really start to live in your individualized phase. Like the research is done.
I'm living my best life.
You start to live your best life.
Yeah.
And with that being said, not that you have all the answers because you're older. You just know the right questions to ask now. And I'm going to leave it at that, Shane Bray. That's all I got. If you want to try to unpack that, you can. If not, we can
I'm
leave
not
it
going to
there.
unpack it. I like it just how it sits. Because here's the thing, all of our journeys are different.
Mm-hmm.
And all of our experiences led us to where we are now. And I could tell you what that means based on my experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could tell you what the right questions in my world are. But I live in a different world than anybody.
Right.
We all live in our own little world. Whatever world you live in, by the time you're 40, at least then you know what you're trying to do.
Oh, most definitely.
What type of life that you want, not what you're trying to do necessarily, but at least what type of life you want to live. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be with? What kind of person do you want to raise?
Right.
What kind of person do you want to allow into your circle of influence?
You done with you're done with conforming to society norms.
And you're done with playing silly games.
And you're done with playing silly games.
I like it.
Yep.
It's a new year. It's 2025.
Wow. That's amazing.
Did you ever think you'd make it?
2025.
It seems like a futuristic number, doesn't it?
2025.
But we're sitting here in 2025.
I'm 40 and I done been around a long time. You're 53.
I'm 53.
Like, I done seen the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the teens, and now we're into the 20s. Soon to be 30. Like, I done been around a lot of decades just at 40. It seems like I've been around more decades than what I really had.
For sure.
The whole history of the internet.
You've experienced the entire history of the internet, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that fascinating?
I knew life before internet, too, though. Just think people being born now will never know life without.
I knew life before cell phones.
I knew life before cell phones.
Before cell phones.
The people that was born.
Which is really when you think about game changers, things that have changed civilization.
That's definitely was.
It's hard to come up with something bigger than cell phones.
I couldn't imagine life without it now.
Well, here we go, real life example.
I mean, I could, but
here we are in that beautiful 86 Kids studio. Mm-hmm. Shout out 86.
Shout out
Kids
that
studio.
86 Kids studio.
Before we started this podcast, I said I need to go to the restroom, which means going upstairs. We're in the very heart of downtown Huntsville, Alabama, underground. We're not kidding. Yeah. So I go upstairs to go to the restroom, and I remember that I promised I was going to play a new harmonica lick for Mr. Producer Man. So I step outside to my van to get my harmonica that I left out there and let the door close behind me, and didn't have my cell phone with me. And I stood outside the door in 28 degrees for probably half an hour. And listen,
every bit of it.
I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all, right? But I'm calling y'all out right here on video. Y'all let me stand out in the damn cold.
Hey,
I'm standing out there for all this time, like officially.
We don't know what happened. I thought you fell in.
I didn't just go to fall into whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't know
like
what
freezing
happened.
Anyways, I stood out there. But we rely on. My thought was, well, certainly this couldn't be a situation for me. If something happens, I'll just call Kevin or Q, not realizing I left my cell phone in the studio. And now I'm outside and I don't have a provision. There's no way for me to get back into the building that houses the studio. And I'm out there in 28-degree weather. I got to make a choice. Do I get in my van and, potentially abandon what I'm doing this evening? Or, my guys don't know. It became almost an existential crisis for me. Because I didn't have my phone.
Because you didn't have your phone.
In my pocket.
Wow.
Elon Musk says we're already cyborgs.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's true. Especially our younger generation. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't have any advice on that.
I mean, we're connected to technology.
But I know this.
It's not
going along with what Q just said. I've been around for a couple of decades myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I have learned is whatever is happening now is not as bad as it seems. It's not as big as it seems, whether it's bad or good. Whether it's bad or good, whatever is happening now is not as big as it seems. Take a step back. Look at your life. Look at the world that you're in, and put it in proper context. Anyways,
it's a small blip.
It's a small blip.
One more before we go.
You
done seen the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2020s.
True.
What would you say has been the best decade?
Oh,
if we could stay in that period.
For me personally, or for
that period?
Society?
What period?
For me or for society?
For society.
Much better.
What period would you like to live in? Would you like to go back to the 70s?
Well, then again, that becomes a personal question. And going back to that period where I came of age, as it were, when I was a young man becoming
80s.
For me personally, if I could relive any decade, it would be the 80s.
The 80s.
But as far as society is concerned,
And I don't remember the 80s because I was born in the 80s, but I remember the 90s.
I remember the 80s. I was a young man then, and that's when I was in high school then, and if I knew just a couple of little hacks like I know today. Look, high school was already fun, but I could have had a lot more fun. That's all I'm gonna say. It could have been a lot more fun. Yeah. It could have been, had I known a couple of things, I could have, You ever play that game? If you could relive one day in your life, one day. I got a few days. I got a few days that I would like to relive because they were so. I would love to relive each of the days that my children were born. If I could go back and relive the experience of each of my children, all three of them being born, I would do that in a minute. That would be worth pretty much whatever cost. The day I married my wife is a big day. That was a big. So there are some of those days that I would like to relive because it was such a fantastic experience that I couldn't have gotten it all in one day. But there's some days that I would like to relive because I know that based on what I know now, I could have changed the sequence of events of that particular day. Things, and I could have had another epic day in my memory that's now lost to time. Let's leave it at that.
Good answer.
It's an interesting way to look back, though. Like, do you want to relive it because it was so great, or do you want to relive it because you know now that a gentle push in one direction or another could have changed the sequence of events?
The whole
and who
course.
knows?
But then you wouldn't have been here, probably.
Potentially.
We got to go.
This is Vendor Chronicles.
This is Vendor Chronicles.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey.